Hey guys, I feel a salad coming on. And turkey's making racket, of course. I'm Wanda from Crazy Days. Today, I'm out foraging. Something I usually do most days when I have time. And today, I'm going to show you a little bit about the asparagus I got going on here. The cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, all this stuff that I'm going to be eating salad today. Alright, this is my asparagus patch. This is just one of them. I've got 3. And it is doing really well. Usually I only get asparagus like in the springtime, but off and on during the year I keep an eye on it. You see, these right here I missed. I would have had 3 stalks right there, 1 over there, and 2 here in the last week. And I missed it because we've been canning a lot. But I did not miss this one. Look at here. Now, I know this is not as big as what you get in town, but this is some really good eating. I've been over to my cucumbers. I've got cucumbers. I got 3 cucumbers here. But look at this. We're going to have some more seeds. You see here? This one's starting to seed up. This is the Mary Washington. And look at this, asparagus seeds. Once they dry, look for them on Etsy, because that's what I'll do with them. We do not plant from seed. We tried that one year. It takes about 4 years to get to this stage here of asparagus. This asparagus has been here approximately 2 years, and it was 2-year-old plants. And you have to look all in it to make sure you don't have stalks of asparagus coming up. Because see, this was an old stalk, and I pulled off earlier. This one came up last week, and I should have caught it, and I didn't. And you can see here, when I caught, these came out and were really tiny, and I left them so that they can grow. I come in and break out the old brown stuff, and I clean all the weeds out. You can see a couple of days ago I came in and made sure all the weeds are out of my asparagus. And it's looking good. Behind it, I have mint that is blooming. We're hoping the mint is detouring things from the grapevine. Our grapevine is huge. Well, this is actually muscadines. And there are muscadines hanging all in here. On the other end is just loaded, but this one has different size muscadines because this freeze that we got, we're going to have muscadines for a while. I see a few in spots from the original, and then I see tags, like I showed you, from the second batch. So we're using all the mint, and the grapevine's about to struggle out the mint, but you see, it's blooming. It'll fall down. It runs the ground. This mint is probably waist high on me. So that's pretty tall mint. And it does great because we have the turkey pen here. And it feeds when it washes. It washes it down, feeds the grapevine and the mint. And this is the back side of the grapevine. You see how big it is with the mint. And guys, this smells awesome. You just have to get close to it to smell the mint. Stop on the way. Look at here. Look at this. Pears hanging everywhere. Oh, you can see those, but they're awesome up there. Our fig tree. Guess what? It is loaded. We weren't sure, but we've got different sizes. You see these, and then you see some a little bigger. They should be ready within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And we have creatures all over the place. And this tree, usually, as big as it is, we end up with about 20 to 30 gallons according to the good years. Okay guys, we have Malabar spinach. I still have some carrots growing. I'm not sure how big they'll be. I'm going to be taking some of those out either later today or in the next couple of days. This Malabar spinach was only about 1 inch or so tall when I put it in there, so it's growing really well. Some of our strawberries are doing great. And then I have some basil in one. I'm going to be filling in the spots, taking out the tomatoes where I showed you the tomatoes on the other side. The tomatoes just went wild, and I still have some green ones, but sometime this week we are taking all the tomatoes out and starting over. I think we're going to do a midsummer Greenstalk, see how the Malabar, the strawberries, the basil, we're taking carrots and tomatoes out, maybe adding a few seeds, seeing how things do throughout the summer with this. I think this is 40% shade cloth, keeping it shaded. All right, we're at the orange tree. While I'm walking around, I'm just showing you what beautiful flower. The oranges are about the size of golf balls right now. This one over here looks a little bit like a giant golf ball. Here, down there, look at this. This orange tree is like one of my favorites because when it loads up, it loads up. We have one down here. This side did not make. This is the side that got the freeze, but we have one there, then one here, a couple down there. So this was the side the freeze hit really hard. We got one right here, but the middle did awesome right here, here, coming around up here, here. If this thing had kept all the blooms, there would be a couple of hundred on it. But the top got the freeze, the side got the freeze, and some of this protected in here held its fruit. So I figure we have at least 30 to 50 oranges on it. Would have had a couple of hundred on a very small tree. I've been trying for 5 years to get hostas to grow here. And finally, this year, this one took off. It is shaded. Hostas love shade. I'm not sure what the deal was, but I finally got hostas to grow. And look at this. Hydrangeas. Always been one of my favorite flowers. I remember childhood. My parents had trees that were at least 6 feet tall and at least 4 or 5 feet across. Had several of them. They were always beautiful. When I was a little bitty kid, I remember those. I've grown these every place I've ever lived, and I just think hydrangeas are one of the most beautiful things ever. I like blue, guys. These are the cucumbers. I got 3 cucumbers off of them a few minutes ago. I love my fresh cucumbers on this. It's on a tripod. You see, Danny made this teepee thing to cook over, and it's got blocks in the ground in the tripod, and we put the netting up to keep animals from getting in it. And instead of us cooking in it, I filled it full of mulch and stuff, and every year I grow some veggies in there. This year it's cucumbers, and they are doing great. They're blooming like crazy. It provides me, these 3 plants provide me with enough cucumbers to eat daily in a salad. I feel a salad coming on, guys. Our yarrow. Now it's looking pretty rough. It rained here a couple of days ago, but you can't kill yarrow. Just saying. I've sent it out to several people, and I'm hoping they didn't kill it. But I can take these little sprigs and transplant them somewhere, and they'll look dead for a while, but it'll come back from the roots and just start growing. This stuff was waist high 3 days ago. The rain just pushed it down. It'll pick back up, I promise. I'm totally amazed at this. This is Danny's grandpa's fig. It is just loaded with figs, and we've already harvested. Because of the freeze, there was 3 or 4 made it through the freeze. We've harvested those and ate them. And this is like a giant, I don't even know what you call it, but it's a giant fig. It makes a fig about this big around. And these are the second crops. It's the first one. I'll show you. Here's one right here. See this? This is what they look like, as opposed to this. These are the small ones. This is the big one. Look at the difference, guys. And I always peel this fig and eat the fruits inside. The outer peeling on this fig is tough. It's not tasty. And this is not as sweet as a brown turkey fig, but it is delicious. So Grandpa's fig is one tree that has grown. It was only this tall 4 years ago. The past 2 years has really shot it up. I used rabbit fertilizer on it, and it kicked it in gear. So, part of a salad. Ever had figs in a salad? I don't know, but it may be something that I add to the side, not necessarily in my salad. A flowering crabapple. This thing is gorgeous and pink blooms when it blooms out, but it is huge and full of crabapples now. And it's not going to be long. These little things will be ready to harvest. So let's look at them. Got a leaf in the way. See there? They're everywhere. They look like little mini apples. They're already red, so it's not going to be long. You'll see animals all in this tree because there's thousands of them. It's just that they're so small, it is hard to show you very many of them. But all the way up this tree, every limb has 10 or 12 on it, and you see how big the tree is. All kinds of animals will come to this tree, but you can make jams and jellies out of it. I would say jellies for the most part, and it is the most beautiful, other than my peach jelly. This is one of the prettiest jellies you'll ever make, is crabapple jelly. Cherry tomatoes, blight is starting to hit them. You can see how the leaves are turning and looking horrible. We had horrible rains plus just extreme hot. Yesterday it was heat index of near 118, they were saying yesterday. I can't believe it got that hot. I did not even come outside. But the tops are still loaded with cherry tomatoes, so we're going to clear out the bottom. And I feel a salad coming on. Some of these are going in my salad, and we have 3 of these here. Some of you know that I like berries in my salad, and our tame blackberries are doing great. And I get a few a day right now, and I like berries in my salad, so I'm going to pick the ones that are ready, and we're going to go check the Arkansas Travelers. Travelers have put on a new bunch of berries, and they're green right now in this one. They're green all in here, and you can see where the older ones have died. You can see the red berries starting to come in on some of the new shoots. And here, lots of red berries already on them. So, we've got to wait a little while on the Arkansas Travelers. This is one of our small fig trees that we planted here by our tomato garden. It's been here a couple of years, but look at the figs. This little booger is loaded too. So that gives us 2 fig trees, one small one big one that is totally loaded with figs. Okay, after taking off a few of the tomatoes and all the bad leaves, look at the tomatoes that are just hanging in here. Isn't that awesome? Once again, our apple tree is loaded. Almost too loaded as usual. You can see apples everywhere. Some of them, like this one right here, it's going to be big enough to start canning before long. They only get about this big. They're about maybe a little bit bigger, but not much bigger. So these apples, I think we can into June, somewhere along in there. So we'll be canning apples before long. Isn't that crazy? Sugarcane, this last row is almost a perfect stand. These 2 rows are sporadic. The cold got them and froze some of it back, but this row is awesome. This is a bunch of the peaches here on these trees. There's like 4 of them. This is the largest tree. We're going to start taking some of these off. That is a beautiful peach. Danny's fought with these trees for years, the deer come out and knock them back, and you can see this one's leaning. But we've managed to start harvesting peaches again. The sugarcane has just jumped and gone. It's overhead high now. When I walk through it, it's over my head. It is looking great. Danny's peppers, probably the prettiest thing here. Got one of the best crops of peppers I've ever seen. And here at the cabin, we put in one blue indigo, I think it's a cherry drop tomato, and one yellow pear in this. So I have some of each ready. Down here, a yellow pear. Here, the blue indigo. And my cabin garden. Guys, I'm really proud of this garden, even though it doesn't look like the corn's done that well. The corn has had its issues, and it's tossing it like 4 foot and under. And I'm not sure if we'll get much corn off of it. It doesn't look like it, but it's been blown over, blown down, stood back up a couple of times, flooded out, went through a drought. I don't water this garden. I watered it only when I planted things. I would come through to keep them alive during that really droughty spell. And I only watered the squash, the tomatoes, and the asparagus and watermelons and stuff to keep them from dying. So overall, this garden is looking miraculous, and I've gotten a little food out of it. We're getting a little squash. I see some tomatoes. I've got plenty of basil to add to it. The peas are blooming. I'm going to show you a little bit of all that right quick. These sunflowers are almost as tall as I am. Some of the sunflowers we have in here are mini sunflowers, like this one. They're starting to put on sunflower heads. This is like a spaghetti squash, I think, and it is just going crazy. I've got some little squash under there somewhere. Oh, here's one. Ah, the squash. So we're going to see what these look like when they get bigger. But the tomatoes are looking pretty good. I've got to come back and tie them again. But I feel a salad coming on. Look, my own tomatoes out of my cabin garden. Look at there. Isn't that beautiful? We have green and purple basil alternating here, and it is beautiful. Raspberries, isn't that awesome? These are going in my salad too. I do feel a salad coming on. And we're going to get some onions. These are just green multiplying onions, and we plant them in these containers and take them out and move them around and sell a few occasionally. But this gives a salad the best flavor. In this garden, I'm not sure we're finding much to forage today, but the lemongrass is a great addition to it, or you can make tea to drink along with it. Our rattlesnake beans are starting to bloom. I see a few little blooms, things going on. We've planted Red Ripper peas. You can see they're coming up. All the Red Rippers are coming up. Here's our okra. It's up. Some of it about 8 to 10 inches tall. Some of it's smaller. He's got to come in and thin some more out, I see. But other than that, we've got a little bit of onions on each side. We've got the Egyptian walking onions. So this garden is, other than thinning and stuff, is okay for now, but I'm not taking anything out of it. I've got my onions. That would be the only thing I could add at this point from this garden. Okay, nosies are in the background. These are containers with our butter peas in them. They've all come up. They're looking great. Not seeing blooms yet, but it looks like they're going to. Right there. We're to the bloom stage. So our butter peas are looking awesome. And so are the pigs. This is our huckleberry bush here at the front of the house on our sidewalk. Now this bush usually produces like a lot of berries on it. This year the freeze got it, but look, I've been picking berries. This is June. I don't usually get berries in June, but I want you to look. Look at the little berries all over it. It's not going to be long. I'm going to have berries galore on this tree in June. Here's my herb garden. I've got rosemary and pineapple sage and oregano and thyme and basil and everything added. Strawberries and comfrey. We have a lemon tree in here that's got lemons on it. I was going to get some of the pineapple sage, and I think I will take a couple of the leaves, but I wanted the flowers. This thing has bloomed all winter long, and it puts on beautiful red flowers, so it goes great in a salad, but the smell of the pineapple sage is awesome. No salad would be complete without 3 or 4 of these garlic chives. I feel like my salad's coming together. Guys, I do feel this salad coming on. The bar here is getting big enough that I can steal a few leaves. So we're going to take a few off of each one of my Malabar here just to have a little bit of leaves in my salad. We're out here at the greenhouse, and we have very little growing in the greenhouse. It's 85 degrees in here right now, but it's very early morning. The wind's blowing and the sun's not shining. So that little thermometer will hit 120 easy today. But I'm going to harvest a little bit of the moringa. Okay, today's harvest, I've got raspberries, blackberries, and a few huckleberries down in there. You can see them right here. So we have berries and other fruit. We have peaches and our fig. So we could do like a fruit salad here and add a little cream cheese to it and powdered sugar and make a delicious dessert. We may do that. Then we have all these cherry tomatoes. I'm only going to pick a few of these or go look in the floor where the others are and get some that are ready. We've got our cucumbers, a squash, a yellow pear tomato, our 2 little weird carrots out of the Greenstalk. We have an asparagus, a couple of peas, one of our beans, some of our green beans. Then we have Malabar, purple basil, pineapple sage, one of our little blue tomatoes, garlic chives. I picked a few of the sweet potato stems, and the leaves are good in salad. And we have our green onions. These are my tomatoes from my garden over at the cabin. They're not quite ready, so I'm going to have to substitute with some that we've already got laying in the floor. But I felt the salad coming on, guys. This is the way I like to eat every day. I love to forage. Okay, guys, so I've got my salad made, and this is it. Doesn't that look awesome? I'm going to sit here and enjoy this salad that I found outside from my foraging. So, guys, occasionally I'll take you along on what I do to forage for my lunch. Thank you, guys, from Crazy Days.